but it's a game day. About to get ready for work. I have a few group fitness classes that I'm coaching today. The rest of the family is asleep. The Jones household likes to sleep on a Saturday. Okay. The alarm's going off like 15 times. You want to get up? I'm sure. No, you don't. You don't. No. You want to do that one? So the alarm goes off 15 times, but you get one text message and you wake up. 188.2, definitely a little bit heavier because I ate late last night and didn't get a full night's rest. Probably got about 6 hours on average. And well, usually I get 6 hours on average, and last night was one of those nights. Semi-true weigh-in, but I think if I would have got maybe an hour or two more of sleep, maybe a pound or so down, but not upset. I've been eating in a surplus. My lifts have been going really well in the gym, and overall I'm pretty happy with the way my physique is changing. I can see that if I continue down this path, this will definitely be a good path for me, ultimately trying to put on a little bit more muscle mass before my next bodybuilding show. So yeah, grab a protein bar. On days where I know it's a little bit busier and I know that, you know, I plan on eating out later, I'm already thinking about having some Shake Shack. I try to front load my protein in the beginning of the day so that I can make sure that I get at least enough protein in. I'm gonna start off with a pure protein bar, and then I actually have a whey isolate that I've been eating a lot of recently. If you guys can see that. Optimum Nutrition whey isolate. Got this bag from Costco about almost 3 weeks ago now, and it's been lasting. Pretty happy about it. I'm gonna do 2 scoops of the isolate, and I'm a little strapped for time, so I'll probably throw a Pop-Tart in there. I'm gonna try to make sure I limit the amount of processed foods that I'm eating prior to game day festivities, like going out and eating with Kay, or we go and hang out with some friends and watch a football game. Yeah, that's how we're starting off the morning. All right, so I just got back from work not too long ago. Got my gym shirt with me. I'm already wearing a shirt that I can wear to the gym. I just sweat a lot through cotton. I brought an extra shirt just in case. Some of my coworkers convinced me to order Chipotle prior to leaving work. The only other things that I've eaten today were the protein shake and the protein bar I showed you guys earlier. What's up, man? Crazy. And they're off. Wiley actually just got some new dog food in. When? I'm trying to show where Wiley got his food from. Special grade A food. Chewy. Chewy.com, right? Penny, you don't eat Chewy.com. Boys, we gotta take that out to the recycling bin. Put it away. Alright, we're gonna stash it just for a second. Like I said, all I've eaten thus far, a little bit of Chipotle. Win, you can't jump up, man. Crazy dude. A little bit of Chipotle, had the protein shake and the protein bar earlier. Lost my voice. Protein. And I'm about to head to the gym now. Today I'm working out with one of my gym buddies. His name's Seth, real cool dude. He'll probably watch this video and give me a bunch of crap about it later. We plan on hitting mostly legs. I'm gonna start my leg workout off with lunges, and then I've also been getting into good mornings a lot recently. I feel like the strength carryover from a good morning and then the ultimate carry over to hypertrophy from a good morning has been doing me a lot more benefit than deadlifting or doing RDLs a lot frequently. I've been enjoying these good mornings. I might do a slightly different attachment today. We have a pit shark. So a pit shark is basically a form of a belt squat, but you can do a lot of other things with it. Good mornings being one of them. I might do a good morning with the pit shark today. Starting already to think about the next thing that I'm gonna eat. It being a game day, it already being close to 1:30. The game starts at 3:30, so I'm trying to be in and out of the gym. My protein intake, I gotta make sure I get it in before we go and hang out with some friends later and whatnot. Yeah, prioritizing that. What, man? You want some attention? You want everybody to see? Hey, I'm Winston. I'm a weirdo. Any weirdo. Hey, I'm Wayne. I'm also a weirdo. Gym time.
So the last time you saw me, I was half asleep, just waking up. So since then, it is now 3:30. I did wedding makeup for an entire bridal party. I do wedding makeup on the side and just makeup in general. So for me, it's just something fun. I've been doing it for, gosh, about 8-9 years now, and I love it. Check out my Instagram, Rose Gold Leopard Beauty. That is the name of my company, Rose Gold Leopard. So check that out. But so I just got home, changed my shirt to support the Buckeyes, but I'm starving. So the only thing that I've eaten today is I had the reduced fat turkey bacon and egg white sandwich from Starbucks and some brown sugar Pop-Tarts. So super great stuff so far today. I am going to make some eggs and smoked salmon and some cheese, so like lox style, since I definitely need to get some protein in. I'm just waiting for Brandon to come home so that we can watch the game. We might go out and watch it somewhere. I'm not sure yet. So, but I'm gonna make sure that I get some protein in before we start all the football festivities. So let's make some food. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so I am going to start off by using some egg whites. So I'm going to do 4 egg whites, which equates to 184 grams. So I put a cup on here, I have this zeroed out, and then we're just gonna measure out the actual egg whites here. So if you buy the carton of egg whites where it's just straight egg whites and not the yolks in it, you can buy those at the grocery store. They typically say that, wow, that was a really bad crack. Oh, Lord. This looks like I'm a terrible cook and don't even know how to crack an egg. Okay, so back to my explanation of how I got 184 grams. So on the back of the egg white only carton, it says that 1 egg white is 3 tablespoons or 46 grams. I multiplied that by 4 since I'm looking to have 4 egg whites. Let's see how close this is to 4. So this is my 4th one, technically. Let's see how close or how far off it is. It will also depend upon the size of your eggs. So this is 133 for 4. So let's keep going. So we're actually technically going to do 5 actual egg whites. And that's why it's so important to measure things, because we have now done 5 egg whites and we're at 168. That's crazy. So we're gonna do one more. See if we can get a little closer here. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit over, since I don't want to waste some of the egg white that's actually in there. So we're at 201. So when I go into MyFitnessPal, I'll just change that to say 201, so that it's actually like that in there. And then I'm going to zero this out again because I wanted to do 1 whole egg, which if we look on here, one whole egg should be 50 grams. So let's see how close this is. Ooh, that's pretty close. So 53. So when I put this in MyFitnessPal, I will adjust that so it makes sense and I'm using the right amount in there so that I'm putting things into MyFitnessPal and tracking correctly, because accuracy is really key in terms of tracking and making sure that you are, you know, meeting your macros in order to also meet your fitness goals. So I'm just going to whisk that up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn this on here. So I turn it on typically to medium heat, and then I'm just going to spray the pan with this olive oil cooking spray. There is nothing really in it. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour my eggs in here. I'm going to let those start to cook up a little bit. While we do, I am going to show you how I'm going to weigh out my salmon. So this is some wild caught smoked salmon, and here are the macros on it. So 56 grams is what I'm going to go for here, and that is 0.5 fat, 12 protein, and 2 carbs. Oh my gosh, we're so close. Perfect. And then I'm also just gonna, while I'm in the same cup here, measure out my cheese. So this is just some low moisture part skim mozzarella. Here are the macros. So I'm gonna go for 28 grams. I'm just gonna do 1 serving. So that is 8 grams protein, 5 fat, and less than 1 carb. Ooh, we're a little over. Okay, so these are starting to cook up very nicely. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle all this on here. It's a big old plop. Just make sure I scrape everything out with my spatula. And then I just like to break up the salmon, so I'm just going to break this up so they get kind of pieces throughout it. And since it's smoked salmon, it's usually smoked with salt, so I'm not going to add any additional salt into this just because I don't want it to be too salty for my personal liking. And cheese also has salt in it as well. I am going to put a little bit of cracked black pepper in there. And some garlic powder. I can do this upside down like this. This is backwards for me because I'm left-handed, so I'm like crossing my arms right now, but it's fine. Yes. That is how I make scrambled eggs and lox. Do you see all the steam? Oh my god, it looks so good. So I'm gonna eat some of this and wait for Brandon to get home while I watch the game. Hey, Buckeyes!
So I just finished my workout, pretty intense one. I did a lot of lunges, tried to do some good mornings, and they started to bother my neck. So I was like, you know what, be done with these. And then my buddy Seth and I, we decided to do some RDLs instead. So we did some RDLs using the Pit Shark, and then pretty much after that, some rear delt flies, a couple sets of goblet squats, and I finished off with some classic pull-ups and dips. Yeah, they're classic, pull-ups and dips. You don't know nothing about no pull-up and dip game.
I'm working working on it. I've gotten so much better at my pull-ups.
No, I'm not saying your pull-ups are bad. Your pull-ups are really good. Your dips are good too. It's just, I don't know. I've been doing pull-ups and dips since I think I was, what, 3? Gymnastics, they make you do pull-ups and dips all day, every day. Sometimes when I like have certain exercises that I put in like our training programs that are former like gymnastics exercises, I struggle so much to like actually get them done. Like hanging leg raises, I really, really like them, but I'll just be like, goodness gracious, can I just push these off till tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day? But instead of that, a lot of times I just force myself to do it. I got this like weird like love-hate relationship with them, and this weird love-hate relationship with actually like pushing myself in the gym. Like I get super tired. Like today, I did not want to lift whatsoever. As soon as I started doing those RDLs, I was like, nope, not having it, done. That's it, call it a wrap. And then I was like, actually as soon as I started doing the good mornings, it was that way. And then I was like, you know what, let me just try to adjust the grip a little bit. Try and do an RDL. You know, this is bothering my neck because the weight's sitting on my neck. And yeah, it worked out. We're going to get game day ready. The game is already going on. I need to take a quick shower really quickly before we go and get some food, right?
Yeah, I just ate a snack. I was hungry.
Yeah, I actually have done a phenomenal job on my protein intake. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this down right quick. Okay, so check this out. This is thus far today. Oops, let me back it up. Make this a little more clear. So today, I just decided to log everything in the lunch portion, mostly because I was eating a lot of this later in the day. But so I had a burrito from Chipotle. So it was 1 tortilla, I had fajita vegetables in it, a little bit of the pico. I tried to be a little conservative on the cheese, so I only said it was 0.75 of a serving. I felt like I had a decent amount of cheese in it, but again, protein is extremely hard for me to hit. Sorry, Wiley wanted my attention. So yeah, protein is extremely hard for me to hit. Not just on a weekend, but on a day-to-day basis, and especially when we eat out. So like I said, I've been trying to front load it. So again, I had a little bit less, or I logged a little bit less cheese so that I wouldn't, you know, compensate for too much of the protein that I've already intaken, or I've already had, and I'm trying to assume that I've had less. I had some vegetables. I did another salsa. There we go. 2 salsas. Oh, and then my chicken. So I did do double chicken, and Chipotle definitely kind of undercuts on their actual serving sizes. If you order using like the little plastic cups that they give you, it's supposed to be exactly 4 ounces, but there's a Chipotle right near our house. We actually went there once and we had them weigh everything out on this food scale that they had when they were like not so busy whatsoever. And we found out that even measuring out the chicken with that cup wasn't a full 4 ounces. And because I did this as a mobile order, I tried to be very conservative, and I tried to assume that I only had, what's this, about 5.5 ounces of chicken, even though I got a double serving. So 1 serving of chicken from Chipotle is supposed to be 4 ounces. I got double, and I was trying to be like, hey, I'm going to assume that this was next to nothing that they actually put in there. So I said it was 5.5 ounces. This is what you guys are seeing here as far as, where did it go? Just lost it. The chicken. So I had 5.5 ounces, or I said that I had 5.5 ounces. Then I included in my protein shake from earlier. So I know this is a little bit out of order. I was trying to update my chicken and that put it down at the bottom, same thing with the cheese. But I had chocolate almond milk, along with 2 scoops of the Optimum Nutrition isolate I showed you guys earlier. I've had 1 protein bar, and I had a Pop-Tart. I don't know where I put it, but I had a Pop-Tart this morning. There we go. Actually, two Pop-Tarts. I had a pair. So here are my remaining macros for the day. I got 78 grams of protein left, 67 grams of fat left, and then 282 grams of carbs. So what I plan on doing, we are either going to go to a Mexican restaurant, either Condado, which is a really, really great Mexican restaurant, and I'll probably do tacos, chips, salsa, guac, and just kind of let myself not go, but eat and try to loosely track. If I overeat at this point, because I'm in a surplus, it's not the biggest deal. The goal for me to gain weight slowly is still my #1 focus, but one day where I'm a little bit higher is better than me being a little bit lower, because I'm making sure that I'm at least getting enough in. So today's goal for me is to eat enough protein, at least hit my target calorie goal, and then if I go over a little bit, I'm not sweating it. Now, if I were in a deficit or, you know, in prep or something of that sort, I would definitely be 100% on point with exactly what I'm eating out. If I were deep into prep, I probably wouldn't, you know, be eating out at this point, but that's the plan. Might do Shake Shack. Shake Shack's my low-key favorite. You want Shake Shack? No. No? You don't want Shake Shack?
No.
Really? I'm like craving it. Why, you want some Shake Shack?
Don't ask him that, because then he'll be upset when you don't give it to him.
His Shake Shack. Yeah! Wiley wants some of the Shake Shack. So, you want Shake Shack, don't you? Ooh. 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 You can't go to Shake Shack. He can't go. I told you, you really want Shake Shack.
Are you still filming?
Yeah. Wiley really had to poop. You don't want to record him pooping? Speaking of poop, I think Winnie's trying to go now too.
Alright, so we are quickly letting the dogs out. We fed them, and now it's about halftime. So we're finally ready. We got our gear on, right?
Yeah. You're going to keep pointing on the shirt?
Yeah, I was showing your gear.
Oh, I thought you were just going to show my shirt.
No, I was showing
you
your
guys
gear.
can't eat mulch? Stop.
We are about to head to the Short North to meet up with some friends, to maybe get a drink or two.
Margaritas.
Margaritas. And what are we gonna eat? Some Mexican food probably?
Yeah, well that's what you're in the mood for. Yeah, so we'll probably end up getting Mexican food.
There's a really great place in Columbus. It's called Condados. I think that they are actually just starting to expand
Past Columbus?
Past Columbus, which is really cool. Really great natural, fresh ingredients that they always use. So hopefully we'll go there and watch the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're dominating right now. OSU is straight up crushing. Yeah, this surplus that I've been in recently has definitely been showing great results. Title of this video, you guys know we're talking about how nutrition factors into weightlifting, and rather than make it like this formal like sit down thing, we felt like it would just be easier to kind of have more or less a conversation. I guess I can take this. Hold on to the
You're
guys.
so tall. Compared to me, it feels like I feel like I'm like holding it up, the camera thing up to the sky.
I'm barely 5'8", so
I'm 5'2".
the surplus, like I said, has been really great. I've been trying to get a little bit over body weight of grams per protein in per day, and Kay, you do that pretty much right now too, don't you?
What?
Get about just over body weight grams of protein in a day. First and foremost, we try to make sure that when it comes to seeing the best results in the gym, that we set ourselves up for success. To make sure that we're seeing composition changes over time, we find our maintenance first. We start off as high as we can with our total calories, because over time it will basically allow us to manipulate it even better for when we try to lose weight. Essentially, we try to push our maintenance level as high as possible so that when we get into the depths of a deficit, it's not so brutal. Or if it feels like a lot when we're starting a surplus, we kind of get used to it and can build on it so that later along the road into a deficit works a little bit better.
My macros are set pretty high right now, which is really great, and just lifting a lot heavier, focusing on, you know, a couple areas that I'm really looking to build. It's been really good so far, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we both have been more or less in a surplus. Even though you're recompositioning, you're not untrained, you were less trained.
Actually less trained in specific areas.
Yeah, you'd been lifting weights, but this is probably like the first real time recently that you've like really pushed your strength levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest change with it, I would say, is with our overall physiques, we're trying to push more nutrients into the areas that we want to target, and that just comes through hard training, and then being really specific, making sure we get an adequate protein amount in. We try to keep our fats anywhere between 35 at the high end down to about 25% of our total daily caloric intake. And basically this ensures that our hormones are regulated very well. This ensures that we're getting enough in to properly add towards the adipose tissue that we already have. Overall, it just keeps us in a little bit of a healthier state. From there, once we've established where our protein intake should be and we've established where fat intake is, we kind of try to fill in the rest of our calories with carbohydrates. It just becomes the last little bit of whatever it takes us to initially maintain our weight. And once we find that out, we pretty much have all the room in the world to play with. That's kind of like the technicals of how we find where our calories should be.
That license plate, that's funny.
Well, I don't want
Yeah,
to show you guys the license plate.
There's
But
a license plate.
yeah, the real deal. Eating 4,000 calories a day, in no way, shape, or form do I find it easy to do. Nor
never want to do it.
Yeah, nor am I the greatest fan of saying I get to eat so much food. One, it can become expensive if you're eating all whole food sources. Two, it can become very challenging if you're eating whole foods as well. Whole foods being foods that are more hearty for you and healthier, complex carbohydrates, not simple sugars.
Whole foods, aka non-processed foods.
Non-processed foods, there we go. For the most part, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing that. If you follow me on Instagram, I have been posting about me eating certain junk foods, but I've been trying to limit that a little bit more recently in order to stay on the healthier side. It's fun to eat Pop-Tarts, it's fun to eat cakes and whatnot. It's fun to get your calories in that way, but a lot of those foods don't really have any micronutrient value. Even though we're big on making sure that our macros are on track, we also want to make sure that we're ultimately healthier human beings in the long run.
I feel like some days it's really hard to get in everything, and I'm eating roughly 2,000 calories, so while Brandon's over there literally doubling what I eat every single day, for me it is very challenging to eat that much food. And I think especially just
prepping, not just meal prepping, but pre-planning the day out.
Well, I guess for me too, I work a 9-to-5 job, and then we run this business as well, and then taking care of the boys and having our own training schedules, things like that. It is very challenging for me to set myself up for success every single day. So sometimes I find myself stuck at the end of the day with tons of food to eat. But that just really comes down to pre-planning and planning well and putting your goals as a priority.
I even, as a personal trainer and a fitness coach, there's times where I don't even pre-plan that well. I have time in the middle of the day. Maybe I'm editing a video, maybe I'm spending time with Wiley and Winston trying to make sure that run all the errands that they need if they have anything that comes up, and it can make things really challenging. But overall, we try to stay very optimistic.
Yeah, I feel like we really do. I feel like that's something that over the past year we've really tried to change our outlook on life in general.
Yeah, definitely, and it's helped a lot.
Yeah.
For
I feel like
not
it's
only
really helped.
Yeah, not just our business, but it's also helped for just our lifestyles and making us, better coaches, making us better athletes as far as, how we train ourselves, and just better people. And so we're about to go ahead and call an Uber. We wanted to take the dogs on a little walk and chat with you guys about how nutrition, again, factors into weightlifting. We'll probably pepper in a little extra stuff towards the end of this video, but yeah, margarita time.
Let's go.
So we just made it back from an interesting night. Yes, we ended up going to Cadado, the Mexican restaurant we were telling you guys about. And then we went there, we hung out a little bit longer, ended up going out to a bar with one of our friends, meeting up, and long story short, we ordered some pizza when we got home.
Because what was closed?
Shake Shack.
Prized possession.
But I'm going tomorrow, so Shake Shack,
I don't want that.
I'm coming for you. We're gonna leave her at home. Check this pizza out. It's called Borgata Pizza. Really, really great stuff.
I already started to eat, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, so look at that.
Sure, that is.
Oh, yeah. And then we got our half biting. Half eaten, half biting.
Half eaten.
Half biting, eaten, biting. I think it should be called half biting. Half biting pizzas. So we made sure that we got our protein intake in. For the rest of the night, we had mostly queso at Condado. Queso does have a decent amount of protein in it, but also has a lot of fat. Remember, my goal today was to make sure that I hit at least my protein goal and kind of let everything else fall by the wayside. This pizza that we're about to eat as well, or I have been eating, is going to have a little bit more protein in it too. I got some pepperoni, some sausage on it. And then Kay, your goals, you didn't have too much food before.
No, I really didn't. I did have a protein shake that I didn't record in there, but having that huge serving of eggs and lox really knocked out a lot of my protein, which was what I was trying to do. And I had my Starbucks sandwich too, so that was a good amount of protein. Today was kind of a looser track day for me, but I don't feel like I went over because I really didn't eat a lot of fat in the beginning of the day at all, because I knew that we were probably going to go to Canado's and eat chips and guac and queso, so prioritization.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another one of our videos. This is the last one in our series on how to work out. Next video is going to be a full day of eating. We did one on the road, now we're doing one at home.
Can we take you to the grocery store?
Yes, we'll do that. The boys are already asleep.
We'll go to Costco together.
We'll go to Costco together. There's Winnie. Why?
Night, Winnie.
You sleep, why?
You ready for bed?
Yeah, he's ready.
Winnie, you ready for bed?
Oh, he's come on.
Let's go. Bedtime.
And why?
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Bedtime.
Thanks again. Good night.